Hey, so I've had people talking about they feel like negative energy is around them. I've kind of talked about this in the video yesterday. And it's weird how all of a sudden people start noticing things are off or almost like their life and their energy is affected. And here's a little helpful tip, another helpful tip to help you kind of shield and protect yourself from these things. When you start feeling a certain way, say you're walking around, you're happy, everything's gravy, and then all of a sudden you have this like wave of down or depressed emotion. You have to remind yourself that's not my energy. Return to sender. I don't want that letter. I don't know. Give it back, right? And if you can just keep telling yourself, return to sender, and remember to kind of scan yourself. I know that sounds weird, but you have to know who you are, how you feel, what you think. Every day you wake up, it's like a new version of you or some more mature version, right? Because we're aging and ripening every day. We are fruit. But just remember that when you feel a certain way, it's not always you. And that energy can come from people that don't like you, other energies that you're still tied to, past relationships, family members, competitive energies, whatever it is. And a lot of times, if you can't shake it, you need to do a cord cutting. You have to energetically remove that tie, because the longer you spend time with somebody, the more you're creating an energetic bond that actually comes a lot faster through intimate encounters. So, say you have an ex that you spent years with, and all of a sudden you're like, this isn't working, and you find the courage to walk into your future, and go, I'm going to let go of that, and I'm going to see what this has to offer. So when you leave that situation, there's still an energetic connection. And even more so if that person doesn't want to let you go because they're focusing on you. They're sometimes, I wish you'd come back. I wish they'd come back. They're praying. They're pulling on your energy, and they're going to try to pull you back. And it's hard sometimes to break away from that. So that is where you have to do that cord cutting ceremony, whatever it is. You can find those on YouTube. And if you need to heal from heartbreak to allow yourself closure so you can move forward, there's something called Ho'oponopono. That is a Hawaiian mantra. And I will tell you, that brought me to tears, and I could feel the energy being released out of my body. And then on top of it, I did do a cord cutting ceremony that helped me to let go of the pain of a 16-year abusive marriage. And it takes time to allow yourself to heal and move forward, but it is possible. You have to be patient with yourself, and you have to dedicate yourself to the process of healing, because a lot of times it's easier to just go back. That's why I stayed in that relationship so long, because it was easier to just go back. The hard part is letting go of what is normal to you. Something that was comfortable. No matter how uncomfortable it was, you had a routine, right? You knew what you were going to face that day. And as you start progressing and moving forward in the unknown, it becomes a little bit scarier. You have to find the courage to say, it's worth the trials and tribulations I'm going to go through. Because you are going to have to fight for your freedom. You are going to have to fight to maintain your energy. You are going to have to work to rebuild yourself on an energetic level and raise yourself on a vibrational level. When it comes to getting away from toxic situations, it takes a while. And like I said, you have to be patient. There was a point I never thought my life would ever get better. I was very down, depressed. I Always put on that fake smile, but you can see in someone's eyes the truth. That's the windows to your soul, right? So when it comes down to it, if you're trying to fool yourself, you got to get honest. You have to weigh the pros and the cons. How is this hindering me, and how is this going to help me? And then once you can figure those things out, you start taking the baby steps. You start making the escape plan. You start setting goals to work towards. And then, like I said, you have to energetically detach. You can live in the same house with somebody and not be tied to them on an energetic level. But understand, the more you stay in a toxic situation, that person is pulling on your energy. You're giving, giving, giving. Eventually you have an empty cup. You're drained. You can't function. You can't think. You're exhausted. You can't move. And a lot of times that is to trap you, to keep you from moving forward in your life. Because people get comfortable hanging on to people that are abundant. When you know somebody that's abundant, you watch the blessings just flowing into their life, and like, why? Why do they get it and I don't? Made a video about that ticked somebody off that asked the question. But when you're working from a heart space and you're giving praise and thanks to a higher power, that's where the abundance begins to flow in. But the thing that comes with being abundant, a lot of people see that and they're like, man, I can't stand that person. God, I wish they'd fail. They start speaking negative into your life. And that's where the return to sender comes in. When you feel that energy off. I was hurting the other day and I was like, this came out of nowhere. And I started sitting there just repeatedly. Return to sender, return to sender. This is not my energy. Return to sender. Take the pain out of my body. Return to sender. And of course, I still took like naproxen and anti-inflammatory. But it was like instantly I could start feeling a dissipation of the pain. But the hard part is to be able to maintain the focus, right? Because as say you're at war and you're being attacked, and you see the escape route and you're like, I just need to get from here to there. But they know where you're at and they're watching you. They're still attacking you left and right. When it comes to an energetic level, they don't even have to see where you're at. Anything that passes your lips is spell work. I don't know if anyone knows that. It's kind of like a forgotten concept. You know, when you speak ill of people behind their back, or you're wishing their downfall, you're cursing them. Understand, karma comes with that. You are actually putting something out there by gossiping and speaking foul of others. Especially when it comes to those that can't defend themselves, like the dead. Do not speak ill of the dead. Those are the ones that have this huge power when called upon. So start understanding what you exist in. Because this world is magical. I don't think people realize that either. But when you look at the winter comes and doesn't destroy a tree, and then it blossoms and gives you fruit the next season or in the spring, that's magic, is it not? That something looked like it withered away and just disappeared, but then it came back to life. And this can go on for hundreds of years. Lifetimes live and thrive off of those fruits of those trees. And we ourselves could be the same on an energetic level. I'm not saying that you can maintain what you've got for hundreds of thousands of years. Only certain ones can. And it's almost like they found the trick of the trade energetically. Stay dark, stay a succubus, and really don't do anything, but don't feel bad about hurting people. That's the secret of the energy vampire. So just protect yourself. There is a lot of things we don't see in this world that affect us on a very grand scale. And as long as you can start scanning your energy, paying attention to how you feel when you wake up, paying attention to how you feel when you enter a room, start looking in people's eyes, you'll start to see where certain dark entities are coming from. You know, I can walk into a room and it's like the dark energy is staticky and I'm almost propelled away from it. That's intuition. But that also comes with those practices, that gratitude, those mantras, the things that show a higher power that you realize that they are the ones in charge. You're just a willing vessel. It's kind of like these messages I share. Just a willing vessel. Because there's always a battle between that good and evil, right? And one cannot exist without the other, but there should be a balance between the two. So that way it becomes a level playing field, rather than where we're at, a dystopia, insane asylum. Something that has people so drained and exhausted, they don't know what to do other than work. It's a sad world we live in, but it is the world we live in. So hopefully that was helpful in some way. Gotta get going to work. Yay. But tomorrow's my day off. Yay. Sending everybody peace, love, and light. Talk to you later. Bye.